And good evening. Welcome to another episode of Children of Primus Frenzy Freestyle Sunday. I am Spin, your host for the evening, as we wait for all the other guests and hosts to show up. And as usual, it's a question of how's everyone doing this evening? And there we go. So, yes, welcome to another Children of Primus Frenzy Freestyle Sunday. And I am Spin, and along with the rest of the crew, we'll be on shortly. We're just doing another episode where we go through some of the news and reviews for within the week of Transformers. And I want to say what's up to Oscar Rayner on Facebook. Oscar Rayner III on Facebook says, "What's up, brother? And what's up to you as well? Hoping to see you roll through to the show for this evening." Yes, while we are waiting for everyone, let's we'll go through some news. I don't believe Fear of Courage will be with us this evening, but in case he is, then I'll briefly go over some of the recent news, but I will leave the main topics for him to go over later in the week. So as you can see, this is our website, childrenofprimus.com, where we not only have news and reviews from all different sources of Transformers products, information, and other fan favorite websites. We also have news and review. We also have a review section that we get weekly from Fear of Courage. And Oscar on Facebook says, "Yeah, I'll get on as soon as I get home." That is cool. So we are going to be here until 10 p.m. Eastern time. So anytime you're ready to jump on, let us know. And before that, I just want to double check that everyone is getting has the right links to join in for tonight. I believe there may have been a slight technical issue. But while I'm looking that up, there is an upgrade set for Generation Select to Ramjet and Legacy Laser Optimus Prime, which I know Anthony did a review of Optimus Prime. And looking at the G2 Ramjet, it does more remind me of of Thunderwing, I believe, of the later G1 characters, later G1 Headmaster characters that came out possibly around 87, 88 years. So it's the similar Decepticon color scheme with the purple and the teal colors. So that's one bit of news. So another bit of news supplied by Cybertron, where the Hasbro designer explains why Velocitron's Scourge has a Nemesis Prime deco. So I know we can possibly get into that later in the episode, or we may save it for next week. There's also Crasher and Shadow Striker listings found for Wave 2 of Transformers Velocitron line. And Crasher, for many who do not know, is a GoBot, one of the original GoBot characters, which GoBots, I don't recall the year they were released, but within 82, 83, the GoBots were popular toys, and the earlier versions of transformation style robots. So this was before Hasbro came out with Transformers, but still within the time frame of when Diaclones and many other transforming type toys were available. Just we didn't have like names for them or storylines as Hasbro did for Transformers. It's also around the same time frame when Voltron was more popular. It was the more popular character in toys of combining characters. So Target Summer Geek Out Transformers Street Fighter and Tonka Devastator pre-orders live. I did see a couple images of the Devastator, and I would say from what I've seen on the comments, it is somewhat of a 50-50 in terms of people who like the concept. Or I would say more people who like the concept. The problem is the price point, where a lot are saying, well, only because it's the Tonka crossover, it is a bit pricey for the price that they're asking, which I believe possibly the set is about 200 American, which I mean is still a G1 mold of Devastator, but just because it's a Tonka crossover. So I mean, another cool element. I mean, Tonka toys were popular in the late 70s, early 80s. So for them to cross over with Transformers, that's a very cool element, especially with the Constructicons. The Transformers G.I. Joe Collaborative Megatron, His Tank, and Baroness are out in Taiwan. And I have seen a few images of people who have this version of Megatron. And again, it's a somewhat mixed reviews of it, where I haven't had a chance to really go in depth to see exactly what the reviews were saying, but it does seem as if the reviews are somewhat half and half in terms of what of people's views towards this crossover. And this one, Transformers buzzworthy Bumblebee creatures collide Goldbug in-hand images and ransack Scorponok and Skywasp extra heads. Well, I'm gonna say it's actually a pretty cool looking Goldbug. I did get Goldbug when he originally came out as part of the Autobots, which they ended up with somewhat two different similar storylines between the comic book and the cartoon in the G1 series, where in the cartoon Bumblebee was damaged during the hate plague, but in the comic book Bumblebee was damaged when Starscream I wouldn't say inherited, or Starscream became one with the underbase that was within the mid-range of the comic book series, with issue 50 being like the main center point of Starscream basically attacking all Transformers. But I will say I do like how this Goldbug character does look. Takara Tommy, new packaging for Transformers Studio Series Deluxe Class toys. So I know Anthony, aka Fear of Courage, would have more information in terms of why there is new packaging. But I guess while I'm here, I will briefly go over it. Where Hobby Search website have updated their Studio Series pages with images of a new packaging for the upcoming Transformers Studio Series Deluxe Class toys in Japan. The Studio Series Bumblebee movie Wheeljack and Brawn are shown in a new closed windowless box featuring the complete character art in the front of the box. Both figures should be released this month for the Japanese market. It's good to remark that this seems to be the only packaging change since the image of other Studio Series classes toys are still the same as Hasbro's. We have no concrete information about this. So what's up to Calvin on YouTube? Calvin said, wow, new package Transformers. Hasbro sucks. So I hope Calvin can come on in a bit and elaborate on why he says Hasbro sucks. I know that will be his murder prime moment for the evening. And Transformers Collaborative Top Gun reissue. Finally, we have official images for an upcoming release of Transformers Collaborative Top Gun mashup. Worlds collide in this Transformers Top Gun mashup pack. The Grumman F-14 Tomcat from the Top Gun film is now a Transformers robot called Maverick. The Transformers collaborative Top Gun mashup Maverick figure features movie-inspired details, folding jet wings, and includes 4 missile accessories that can be mounted on the figure's arms in robot mode and under the wings in jet mode, along with a screen-inspired miniature motorcycle accessory. The Transformers collaborative Top Gun mashup Maverick will be available for pre-order in July exclusively at Walmart. And you can discuss this news in our Transformers collaborative forum thread or on their Discord server at allsparknews.com, allsparknews on Twitter, or on their Facebook group. So as we're waiting for the other members to jump in, there is one now.
Yes, indeed.
How are you doing?
What's going on, everybody? What's happening?
All good, all good. Welcome again, once again.
Oh, man. I don't even want to get started with Hasbro at this point.
There we go.
So you're repackaging items that we already got, and it's kind of funny, you know what I mean? It's just the fact, yeah, you know, some of the things, I'm waiting for Legacy through, I guess, 3 and 4.
Okay.
Because Legacy 2 is starting to show up here.
Okay.
I think somebody just found Blitzwing, and then another person just found, what's his name? Override. I can't think of the other guy's name, the combiner. Okay. So they just found him in certain places. But it just seems to me like Hasbro is just putting out certain items piece by piece.
Right.
And that's what's going to hurt them. But if you look at, I've seen what y'all had in Canada with all the G.I. Joes, but we don't have anything yet. Interesting.
We get them before you guys.
We just don't know what's going on. I seen y'all had the whole shelf full of croc masters and stuff. I'm like, what the fuck y'all gonna do with some goddamn fucking crocodiles and alligators? Oh man, it's crazy, man.
Again, when we really dig into the whole distribution of everything, it's a can of worms, really trying to figure out what they're thinking.
Right. It's freaking weird. Don't get me wrong now, but don't get me wrong now. I like to see stuff on shelves, but when it comes down to here at Target and Walmart, it's like, I don't know, Hasbro's just picking and choosing what they want to distribute stuff to in certain countries or states, or I don't know what it is, but lately we have to pre-order stuff. And they think they're relying on the pre-orders to get them through, because they say, oh, now we got the money, but you're not putting the items out on the shelf.
Well, I mean, a lot of industries are slowly phasing out the store concept, or not a store concept, the brick and mortar type of concept in terms of selling, and in a sense forcing people to buy online. Where I know one industry where they have like a whole handful of products, they've slowly stopped selling certain products in the store, so you can only buy it online. And at one point, they had their own stores. They closed their own stores and only started selling like through larger stores. Like basically, they had their own larger stores, but they also had kiosks in stores. They closed their own stores and kept the kiosks, but now they're slowly bringing in less merchandise for the kiosks. So eventually, you can only buy their products online. And it doesn't work for everyone because a lot of people are still old school in the sense they want to, if in a sense, depending on what industry they're in, if you need some like an item for that day, you just want to quickly run in the store and pick it up. Like the option of waiting till tomorrow or the next day, it's not an option.
Right. Dude, like I say, it baffles me that it. I don't know. It's just weird because I just got one of the Cobra Bats from Dorkside, and I guess now stuff is being pushed back to August or September, and I'm like, what is the Hasbro thing? And same thing with the Transformers, and that's another reason why I'm like, if I got the whole wave 1 of Legacy.
Okay.
So I'm waiting on wave 2, and wave 2 seems like they're just putting things out one by one, piece by piece. So I can just imagine down the road what's going to happen. It's going to be one of those catastrophes. And that's what I'm saying.
That, and it's in a sense, it's like they know they captured everyone with wave 1, so it's like now just stagger everything in wave 2, in the mindset of we'll put it out when we decide to, because the fans aren't going anywhere. They'll always come back to us.
But is that like a pride thing though?
Sorry?
Is that like a pride thing though? Too much pride?
It is, which they shouldn't have. It's, I guess, in a sense, because they figure, well, we were on top of the game forever, and
right.
And not realizing it's like, well, you were on top of the game. Multiple other companies have come out and are doing better than them. So you'd think, well, let's up our game and start doing better than the smaller companies. But a lot of, I'd say, other industries, again, say like internet, cell phones, like internet companies, for instance. Decades ago, you had your main 2 or 3 companies, but now you've got a ton of smaller companies that are basically reselling the services of the main company and selling the exact same service for a lot less and providing way better service. And it's almost the larger companies don't care because, in a sense, well, we own the entire infrastructure, so it doesn't affect us either way. Whatever happens, if the smaller companies disappear, you guys have no choice but to come back to us because we still own the infrastructure.
You just got to cut some wires. I'm just sorry, man. I like to be a gremlin at times because I'm like this. If you can't give me the service that I need, and I'm paying you $60 to $80, that's a problem. And just as of now, I'm kind of saying because I have Xfinity and I pay $60, but my friend, he pays $50 for Verizon internet. He said his internet is faster than mine. And I'm like, okay, so I'm paying $10 more. And he was saying, no, your internet is slow. I said, well, because I game sometimes, but then again, I use it for like important stuff that I got to get done.
Right. But
there's time when it will lag, and I can see where Xfinity, they will cut your stuff off for no reason. I've seen that happen this past Wednesday.
That's a whole other discussion because I've seen that for one client where he was streaming basically an important topic that companies would have deemed controversial, and usually in some cases, when you're doing kind of like the pirate radio type of flex, whatever bigwigs will come and try to shut you down. In this case, it's more of a digital attack where it's either they're going to send a whole lot of bots and basically just try to slow your stream down, or the other option is they downgrade your stream and they don't tell you about it.
Wow.
So say you have you have a connection where you've got like 10 megabits per second.
Yes.
they'll downgrade your service where it's like you're slower than the phone line, and they won't tell you.
Wow, out of
Yeah.
control. Oh, what's going on, man? What's happening?
What's going on?
He's alive.
I know,
Yeah,
eh?
you was missing for 2 weekends. I know what happened.
I know. Work, guys. I apologize, right?
You got
I always
got
wanted to jump
tortured.
on. Sorry?
You got tortured and you got punished. I know what happened.
I know. It's called work.
Oh yes, that too. Yep, that's what I mean. Tortured and punished.
Man, it's been a crazy couple of weeks. What's happening now at my work is that we're just catching up with so many events. So it's like every day there's an event, and plus all the events that were postponed during the pandemic, right? So it's called catch up, playing catch up.
Oh yeah,
Not catch up, but playing catch up. There you go.
Well, do you want to hear the good news or bad news? Which one you want to hear?
Usually when someone tells me that, I usually tell that person, pick a hand.
That's only left or right. Yeah, I'm going to lead to the same decision.
So what's the good? Okay, let's start with the bad news because I like to end things on a good news, I guess.
Man, they're saying we finna go right back into another lockdown. And I am like very skeptical of that. And then the good thing of it is that everybody needs to start preparing for what is going on right now, especially for, this might be off the topic of everything, but for men's rights. And for what I'm seeing, all these things, and then your children will be affected by all the stuff that's what's going on, because now they will have rights to take your kids away from you.
Oh, that's been in the plans for the longest.
And so
for the longest, it's been in the plans for.
Mm-hmm. And so all these people on this bandwagon with all that, all of this what happened. I ain't gonna say the name of it. Mm-hmm. All this what happened. They don't understand what's going to happen. They don't understand what's about to hit.
Well, you know what the problem is, and it is kind of Transformer related to a certain degree, right? Because what happens in society, it kind of mirrors what's happening in the Transformer world, right? And in canon, is that this is the reason why they're destroying the nuclear family. It's always somebody else's problem to take care of, and eventually it's going to come down to the government to take care of it, and that's going to be your kids, your home, your life, everything, right? And if you don't follow the sheeps or the cattle, you're going to be sent to the glue factory, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Right. And we see that with this whole COVID situation that we just went through, and here in Ontario already, well, not just only Ontario but in Canada, you already have Dr. Theresa Tam talking about a 7th wave come September. Even though they've talked about not eliminating but putting a pause on mandates, right, to get things ready for September, I guess, if you want to put it that way. So I hope YouTube doesn't ban us what we're saying right now, or we get marked. But I'm just repeating what our government is saying. So it's not like it's not. I'm making something up, right? All they have to do is go on any news channel and watch those videos, right, of them actually saying it. And look at Trudeau himself. He's been jet flying everywhere and anywhere. And majority of the time, he's not wearing a mask. The only time you ever see him wearing a mask is when he's in front of the cameras in Canada. And then look what happened to him. Apparently, he got COVID. So, and he's vaccinated 4 times. He triple mask and all that kind of stuff, right?
Jeez.
So it's going to get to the point where we have to start understanding, our history, when it comes to pandemics that we had in the past, like the influenza, and the reason why I stressed the influenza is because we had to learn how to live with the flu, right? And if anybody's going to get vaccinated, I'll tell you something right now. I'm not anti-vax or anything like that. Like, if you want to get vaccinated, go ahead. It's your choice. It's your right. But I do strongly suggest, if you're going to go grab any of them, go with a Novavax. because it's based on the traditional vaccines method, and not just only that, their booster shot is actually an influenza A and B booster shot that they give. So that also combating against, the regular flu that we have to go through, during the flu season and so forth, and that will definitely help us out, right? So, it's what society is going towards too. We're always looking for somebody else just to wrap up my long thing here. It's always somebody else's responsibility, and they have to take care of it. Until we start learning again to be accountable and responsible for ourselves, right? Then whatever fate comes, well, don't complain after, because you allowed it.
And that's the thing, because if you really look at it, we have the same thing what's going on, but in the Transformers world, is Decepticon and Autobots. You got some good Autobots and you got some bad ones. You got, just like Decepticons, you got some good Decepticons, you got some bad ones. And what do the sinister ones do? They get behind closed doors. They call it society. That's what they form. And you don't know who's which because they can switch their symbols. They actually had those. They had those, and they had the cars. They can change the symbols. There were spies. So basically, what you're saying right now is a whole bunch of those are running around, and they're out for one thing to collect sparks, which is souls. So either you get along or you don't. If you get along with them, you're good. But if you don't, you consider it as a traitor, and they're trying to find a way to extract your spark. Or what you can do is reformat yourself to something powerful. And that's what they're afraid of.
Well, that's what they're doing in today's society. Look how divided society is for everything and anything.
Everything.
And once you go against whatever group that you were associated with, you're called everything in the book, because you just had a change of ideas, or you might just disagree on one thing.
Yeah.
Now you become this whole other persona that they're accusing of, and then people are gonna jump on the bandwagon and call you the same thing, not knowing what the story's all about, right?
Yeah.
The thing is that they're stopping the narrative. And what's the narrative? It's people like you and I, and Spin and everybody else from talking, just from talking.
Free thinkers,
right? Regardless if it's free thinker, regardless if it's free speech, regardless, just whatever you want to call it, they just don't want us to talk.
Right.
And that's why we wear these masks, on our face, to basically to shut us up. Right.
And if I would have shown you a picture from Walmart today that I had to go get some food or something, like water, and I treat food as like Energon. There was barely anything, like the important stuff was on the shelves. And you got to ask yourself, a lack of resources can actually make a person comment, like they can control that person with those resources. Just like, Energon Cubes. If you don't have many Energon Cubes, what will happen? You get desperate.
Oh, look what happened with Galvatron when they went out to go, the first season of season 3, right after the movie. Season 3. Look at all the Decepticons there on what's the planet called again?
I believe it was Char.
Char, that's it.
Yeah.
That whole planet was charred, right? and they're fighting over the little scraps of Energons until their fearless leader came back. Right, and what did they do? What did they do with Cyclonus and the Seekers? Everybody gave up a little bit of their resources for them to go get their great leader.
Yep.
Right, and it's almost symbolizing what's happening today. We're giving up a little bit of our freedom for what? For your protection.
Yep.
For your health, for your safety. Right.
I'm talking about the stuff I'm seeing now. It's crazy, but most people don't see it. We all have our own opinions and choices in life, but it comes a time if you actually got to pick a side, you pick the side that will help you and others, not the side that will take away from you.
Well, I agree. There is an interesting video that I saw not too long ago. I think it was David Rockefeller. Last name kind of sounds familiar, doesn't it? Rockefeller.
Yep. Oh, of course.
Right. And obviously we know comes from a super wealthy family, right? And in that video, it's a pretty long, interesting video, but basically he summed her up. I summarize it like this: you shouldn't care about anybody else. You should only care about your own family and take care of them, because at the end of the day, that's what is important to you. And here's this super elite person, and I'm saying to myself, you know, he just basically said he doesn't care about anybody else. He's just going to take care of his own
lineage.
And that's what's happening.
And
unfortunately, if you really think about it, you know, you should be taking care of your family. You should be taking care of your property. You should be taking care of your neighbors and so forth. Because let's face it, you know, one of the reasons why I jumped on late, because, you know, I was out there with my neighbor helping out, and your neighbor is actually your next closest to your family, right?
Yep.
And because let's face it, like my sister lives like, you know, 3 hours away. If I'm in trouble, I'm going to call my sister to come 3 hours to come and help me, or am I going to go to my next door neighbor that's next door, right? So it's
yep, neighbor door.
Right. So you got to take care of your family, your neighbors, your friends. And this is how, going back to what I was saying before, there's this division now. So like everybody's out for themselves, and then on top of it, it's somebody else's responsibility to take care of it. What do you do? It's pretty deep thought today, man. We're talking about.
Yeah, you actually the only thing you can do is to take care of the ones that actually they're helping you. But a good deed goes a long way, because I think Transformers actually spoke of this.
Yep.
You remember the Rust virus?
Mm-hmm.
Does that remind you of anything?
Mm-hmm. Or even the hate virus?
Yes. So that whole cartoon, that little one scene, actually, it was a 2-part, if I'm correct.
Yep.
And the first thing they did was touching each other. So that's a sign that, you know, in the future, with us, it's the same way. We got to stand 6 feet apart. Think about it. 6 feet apart. Now you got to wear a mask. So now you cannot communicate with your friends and nobody else. So now you think they got the plague or virus. Now you stop talking to them, so that all the communication stopped. So now you guys are not friends anymore. So now your friends is more on another politician side. All is a form of the hate virus.
Yep.
So you lose your close friends over something stupid.
Oh, I've seen that on Facebook. It's incredible. You know, for all the, oh my god, Spin knows this.
Yeah.
We've talked about this many times, right? And it's like you're sitting there and you're like, what the hell is going on here, man? Like, you know, you make a little comment and people are just jumping on you, right? Like left, right, and center, and you're like, did you like totally read what I wrote? You know, that first line, right?
You know what? In the Transformers, like in the different Transformers groups, it's the exact same thing. Like one person could post like a funny meme or like a statement or just an idea about something, and someone along the line is just going to basically just create chaos in terms of like, well, either that's not how the story goes, or I don't like that version of Transformers, or this and that, and just an innocent post just turns into all sorts of hate and everyone fighting each other. I'm like, I think we forgot that the core of all of this stuff are just toys. Like how are we just being like so offensive to each other over toys?
Well, you know what? I don't mind a good rib, right? I don't mind a good, you know, you're being a bit of a jerk just for fun, right? You know, you're just teasing a little bit, right?
Right.
But it's all in fun or it's all in good humor, right?
There's ways to do it. There are
Correct.
Yeah.
ways where it's like, it's as if everyone's insulting each other, but it's a big comedy match, as opposed to
Right.
like, no, this person's actually insulting people.
It's like, remember that show? What was his name again? The guy from that '70s show. He had an MTV show called Your Mama.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Okay, I didn't see that one after.
Right? Oh, you never saw that? Oh, it was funny. It was a bunch
Oh man.
honestly, to goodness, I wanted to go on that show and tell a whole bunch of Your Mama jokes, right? And so sorry guys. And so that was hilarious because at the end of the day, everybody's just burning each other with all these mama jokes, right? But at the end of the day, what did they do? They shook each other's hand and they gave each other a hug.
Yep.
Right. So, like I said, I don't mind giving a good rib or a good joke or like how many times D and I we go at each other, but we do it, we do it within love, right?
Exactly.
And so, but now it's like it's nothing anybody does today. It's not within love. It's within hate.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes back to that episode from the hate plague. When Prime came back, right? And you shake your head and you're like, what the hell's going on? And the reason why I'm saying that personally is because the three of us, we're all, Gen X, right? And if you think about it, we grew up in a whole racial live background where we all made fun of each other, but we all got along with each other. We all worked together. We all can stay alone. We can all get together and have fun and everything and just have a good time. Where, let's face it, girls were girls and men were men, right?
Yeah.
And that's not an insult to any other group. I'm just saying how it was at that time. And we didn't have to worry about stereotypes and we didn't have to worry about all these things. We just lived life. And it's like when we see our kids today, like when I see my son, or my daughter, it's like, wow, it's sometimes I scratch my head and I'm like, what are they teaching? Like, yes, we're all equal. I get that. Yes, we all get along. I get that. Right. But at the same time, too, there are differences and we should appreciate those differences as well. And if we do appreciate those differences, then we're definitely going to get along, right? Because if and I said this before in our show that we did with the off-topic Transformer show, right? Yes. It should be unity with diversity and diversity with unity. Because if we all look the same, we all acted the same, this world would be boring. Let's be honest.
Damn, skip it, Will. That motherfucker be straight up bored. I'm like, so you at the store too? What you buying? Same Transformer. That's some bullshit.
It's like we're all like, it just doesn't make sense, right? And so that's why I'm happy for the diversity, and I'm also happy for the unity, but now it's just diversity with hatred versus hatred, and hatred with diversity. It's what's going on here.
So it's basically what you're saying is, if you put black ants and red ants in a jar, knowing they'll try to avoid each other, but when you shake that jar up, they're gonna be irritated. They're gonna fight each other, and you take them out that jar, they're gonna continue to fight until one of them is gone. It's destroyed. That's basically what you're seeing right now. You got two parties that's shaking everybody up in one big jar. And they throw in fear, survival, and conniving, and lies, and a whole bunch of things of fear. That's what you're going to get, and lack of education, lack of knowledge, lack of survival skills. That's what you're seeing right now. Everybody's in survival mode to compete against each other.
the first thing you said there, Calvin, makes 100% truth. Lack of education.
Oh, that's a Decepticons right there.
Yep. And if you think there's two parties, it's not two parties. It's one party controlling.
Well,
dig a little bit deeper. It's really one part.
Trust me, I know. Trust me.
Okay.
It's just two. Well, here in the United States, we got two parties.
No, I get that, but it's really one party.
But we got one party that's controlling them.
Oh yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but at the end of the day, it's really one party that's controlling everything, or one group of people that's controlling everything, right? And sorry, my son just walked in here, and so, like I said, the digger you deep in history, you will see, what the future is happening, right?
Yep.
And so it's like, sorry, I just got a little distracted. And so it's, when we look at, like, Dee and I, we were having a conversation one day on the phone, right? And we were talking about, racism and all that kind of stuff. And, my belief behind racism, right? And all these diverse and all that kind of stuff. And how how you were saying how one group is doing this to the other group and so forth and all that. And I said to him, I go, that's all sleight of hand. All that stuff that you're seeing TV, that's all sleight of hand. The real issue that we have, and I'm going to say this, is my dog's barking now. The real issue really is
snap! Is she about to bite somebody? I want to see this.
No, I got a little Chihuahua Yorkie, and those things just like to bark, just to bark,
Oh no! I haven't seen it where they just look all nice and fancy, and they will bite your hand.
Yeah. So what I was saying to Dee, I go, all that stuff is all sleight of hand now. The real issue is it's the elite. And when I say the elite, we're talking about the higher ups.
Yep.
That 1%, if you really want to talk about it. And when I say the 1%, I'm not talking about the billionaires. I'm talking about those 1% that have true control.
Mm-hmm. You talking about the council? Yep.
Yeah. And
yep.
And that's how it is throughout history. You always have a group of people that just sets the president for the rest of the world to follow, right? So it's still things that you have to really watch and learn and read and discuss about it, right? And the more educated people they are, the more information is going to get out, and people are going to start saying, "Hey, wait a minute, what's going on? Mm-hmm. This is not right." This is the reason why, Spin and I and Dee, we grew up listening to, Public Enemy, right? And okay, and so we grew up, growing up a lot, listening to Public Enemy and so forth. I also grew up listening to Rage Against the Machine, right? Yeah. And if you really listen to, the lyrics, what they're saying, it's all about these people that I'm talking about. And that's what's causing the everyday issues that we're facing today. Like, I'll give you a perfect example with a high cost of gas and everything else and food and so forth. It's been happening at I know Furl's, it's a supermarket nearby where I live. You have quite a few people that are just waiting for people to come outside, and they're jumping them, and they're literally jumping them for their food.
Wow.
Isn't it funny how the news isn't reporting that?
Nope.
Oh, no, they won't report it. You know why? Because they want to stir what's happening, because they want things to go unnoticed. So when it arises and you defend yourself, you become the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know, because of the screen that Mike put here. If you get rid of the what's called the screen, like the frame,
mm-hmm.
You see my title name. No more for the bad guy.
Yep. But I kind of had a theory on something.
What's that?
And I've just been going through all the Megatrons and every series. And I think Megatron has a point. He doesn't like the council. He doesn't like to be told certain things because he knows it's a lie. And Optimus Prime is more of an easy pushover. And I'm starting to read a lot of stuff on this because I'm like, what the fuck? Like, and I'm sitting here thinking, who is the true good guy? And I'm sitting here putting the two together. I'm like, whoa. So if you are really for the council, if you work for them, and if you say you really want truly peace, then why can't you side with the Decepticons and make the offer? And it's always somebody that's different from that offer. When only thing Megatron was asking for is to get rid of the council. If you really listen to what he's saying, because they put him there. And they had to destroy something that was very important to them because they don't really talk about it.
If you look at the comic book series, right, which is almost in line with Prime series, what's called Megatron, group in the mines, because certain robots, right, or certain fractions, let's just say, were sent there. Like, okay, you are part of, and it kind of goes back to what we're talking about too, right? Like, so this particular fraction of, robots or transformers, you're going to become miners, like it or not. You get what I mean? And so I don't know if I'm going to say the word correctly, because there's like a cascade, or like how do you say, like you're rich, middle class, and poor, and so forth, right? Yeah, that system, right? And so it's like you're going to go in this group and you have no choice about it. You're going to become part of the elites because you have no choice about it, or you're going to become this or become that. So, and then Megatron after that became part of the a gladiator in the pits and fighting and everything. And he started to realize it's almost like what's called Gladiator. Are you not entertained? Right? And he takes up that mantle and say, hey, you know what? This is ridiculous. We should all be free. We should all be equal. We should all be up. And he's absolutely correct. At that moment in time, the fight that he was bringing, right, to that system, to get rid of that system, make everybody equal, was absolutely correct. But eventually, what happens? Absolute power, you get absolute corruption. And then eventually that's what happened to Megatron, because he had all that power, all that momentum. He's like, it's almost like Star Wars, like to what happened to Anakin. This guy's the chosen one. He's gonna lead this whole new Jedi Order, and he's gonna become the Emperor because he's gonna be more powerful, and he's gonna save the galaxy. Him and Padme are gonna do all that stuff, right? So it's almost like you got parallels there, right? So now with Megatron, it's like, okay, now he's drunk on this power now, and that's why he got corrupted. And if you look at history, and a perfect example, like the Roman Empire, how did it start? You had this small little clan in Italy. Well, at that time, part of the Roman, let's just say country or province, whatever cases, because Italy was not one country at that time, right? So you had like all these little provinces or all these little tribes. So you got the one Roman tribe, they battle another tribe because they're battling for resources, and they're like, okay, now that we want you, there's another tribe, we better attack them now before they attack us. And then they went through that whole entire boot. And then you had that one tribe, the Romans, that actually took over Italy, took over that landmass. And they're like, guess what? Now we're going to have to go to Gaul, meaning France and Britain, and, the rest of Eastern, Europe, all because they were afraid that that other tribe was going to attack them. So we better attack them first before they attacked us. And that's how that mentality started. So the point where I'm getting at is, where do you find that balance? Right? Where do you find that balance? When do you say, okay, it's enough? Where do we stop and say, okay, we have enough now, we're good? And that's been the question throughout history.
But it's kind of strange though, because if you look at it, it looked like he was battling with himself.
Sorry?
It looked like he was battling with himself. If you really look at it, because he needed the Energon Cubes, all these things, like what is he fighting? Because if you really look at it, he's fighting something else that we're not aware of.
No, he was fighting just like the Roman Empire. At the end of the day, he wanted absolute control. And unfortunately, he ran into a problem called, Optimus Prime. But you got to remember, Optimus Prime, if you look at canon, again, he's the 13th Prime that comes, right, when there's that issue or that conflict to bring the balance, right? But again, where do you? But the point is this: if Megatron did what he did, let's just say he got rid of that system, he made everybody understand that, hey, you know what? Now we're all equal. We're all good. Let's start this new system now that we put it in place. That and that was basically like a republic system or a democratic republic system. And we put that in place. And everybody's equal. Everybody has their rights. Everybody has his freedom. And if he left it at that, right, then will we have this great Cybertronian war that lasted for centuries?
Man, I'm just sitting here like it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff that was involved.
Right.
And for a person to go mad, there's got to be something else that could have tipped that person out. Just like Star Wars, Anakin Skywalker, he was manipulated.
Sure.
He was
by who?
Like the Palpatine, and he was a priest. The dude, the Palpatine, pretty much is like a priest of the Vatican or something like that. He was something like that. And that's what you see, and that's what you're seeing right now. It's all false lies and stuff to fill your head up to say turn against your own brother, or turn against a group of people that don't think like you. So if they think like you, then it's going off the program of saying we can get rid of everybody in one big swap. And that's what I'm seeing.
Look what Palpatine did, or Sidious. If we're going to use a Star Wars analogy, he played both parties. Remember what I said? There's one party that's controlling two parties.
Yeah.
This guy here, he played both parties.
Yeah.
Right? And how many false flags did he put? Look what the Jedi did to me because I'm deformed and all that kind of stuff.
It was zero, because you couldn't tell what was going on because it was stuff going on behind the scenes.
And he played everybody, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And think about that today. Think about like that with Megatron, right? With his group of counselors, or even people behind him, like Shockwave. If you look at his series where he goes, they're all dead. Didn't Shockwave played everybody in the background as well?
Oh yeah, right? but you also have multiple villains. See, Transformers, we had major villains and mid villains. There was multiple villains there, but they didn't explore it all. And that's why I can say, because now look at our system. Multiple villains. Some of them hide, some of them expose themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you're saying, because right now the bad apples are in the front and the good apples are in the back.
But even if you look at the Transformer, the Bay universe,
yep.
Really, at the end of the day, who planted the whole entire plan? Sentinel Prime, if you really think about it. I look at from 1 to 3. The rest of was locked down almost together, whatever, right? But if you look from 1 to 3, really, who was a true villain at the end of the day? Who was the main mastermind behind all that? Who was playing both sides? Sentinel Prime.
And think about it, Sentinel Prime is what?
He's an Autobot Prime.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody thought it was a fallen.
But isn't it like a priest or something?
regardless if it's a priest or regardless if it's an elite, or regardless if it's a politician, or regardless if it's some kind of pagan person, whatever you want to put it. But you have that one individual or individuals, right, that control or with like manipulating everything from behind, right? It's like the Wizard of Oz. Don't look behind the curtain over there.
Oh, so Anna from YouTube asked the question: is Putin Megatron now?
See, you know what? That's a really good question, and I will say to a certain degree, because if you look at history again, why did the Cold War start? The Cold War started because there was basically a race between the Americans and the USSR at that time, right? When it came to global domination and power and all that
Resources.
stuff and resources, correct. And one of the locations that the Russians wanted to use was a little island called Cuba, which was like not that far from the United States, right? And they wanted to put missiles there. Now, what ended up happening? The U.S. they did what's called blockade, and they put a whole bunch of embargo on and sanctions on top of Cuba, right, to stop this, because they don't want this base in their backyard or in their yard. So that's what's kind of almost happening right now. You have Ukraine that wanted to be part of NATO, and that's a strategic piece of land, which is right in the backyard of Russia there. And if you put what's called a base there, and you have all these military and equipment and bombs and rockets and all that kind of stuff literally in your backyard, so obviously the Russians are going to do the same thing as well too. They're going to say, hey, what are you guys doing? We had somewhat of a treaty or an understanding, like we don't cross this line. So now, since you guys did this, now we're going to have to do that. Mm-hmm. And then the other part of it as well too is Sweden and Norway and Finland. They're going to be part of NATO as well. So this, and again, which they weren't part of, but they are now. They're going to be part of it. You're going to have all these bases are going to be surrounding, Russia, and that's why Russia right now is doing what they're doing. It's a bit of a cause and effect. It's a cat and mouse game that they're doing, and unfortunately, people like you and I that got nothing to do with it are suffering.
I wish people would see this shit, man. But some people just ignore it and think it won't affect them. And it's crazy because today I was on TikTok, and I actually said a couple things that make sense. And what I said is that we always, for my people, we fight everybody else's battle but our own. And what I mean by it is that, okay, when it comes down to our communities, we don't get no resources. But we got people that come into our communities, make all this money, don't contribute to the education, don't contribute to sports, don't do anything. And they take their money, put it back into their neighborhoods so they'll look better. You can't come in their neighborhood. You're not welcome to their barbecues, but you're welcome to ours. I find it kind of weird. Like, I find it's kind of weird that all these things that's going on, we're helping to fight other people's battles. And it's weird to me. I'm just like, okay, hold on one second. So I had to backtrack, and the girl was like, oh, you're an agent. You're this. And this has come from my own people. And I said, whoa. So if I'm a traitor to my people, then what are you doing? So you fighting everybody else's causes, but you don't get nothing from it. And I had to tell her, I said, ma'am, we live in a society where things can go left and never go back right. And what I mean by that, you could be on this site, you go to work tomorrow, you ain't got no job. Or you don't have the right resources to fight a law or a system that benefits somebody else, not you. Even though it's supposed to benefit, we all supposed to be equal. So how is it equal when it doesn't benefit me or you, but it benefits somebody else, and they can walk out of jail or with a less sentence, and I gotta stay with a heavy sentence and stay there.
Can I answer that question?
And it's crazy how today's society from yesterday, because we're Generation X.
Yep.
Back when we was coming up, it was behind our backs. It was behind our backs, and we still lived as kids. We didn't care. We had toys. We went outside. We rode bikes. We fell off our bikes and got hurt. Fell off a truck and got hurt. Skinned your knee. You go in the house, you fix it. Or your mom or dad or somebody, oh, well, just put some alcohol peroxide and just put a Band-Aid on it. And you walk away. Now these days, what you're seeing is a whole group of people, some, not all, they're so sensitive to what a point you got to walk around with a gun and kill. Well, I'm just saying, you got to walk around and create violence for no reason because, and for somebody to piss you off that bad because you missed a figure or somebody decided to tell you that you was ugly that day. It just stuff. We don't. Today's society is not the same help like it was yesterday. You can actually sit down and talk to a person and know what's going on.
But that's our fault, man. But that's our fault. Like as parents, when I say as parents or as leaders now, right? Because now we're the head of the tribe. If you think about it, right? That's our fault. And why is that?
It's a lack of knowledge. It's a lack of knowledge, and it's a lack of. I would say, like today, right now, it's like the mental illness, and also the stuff that's going on is getting looked over. It's getting looked over to what a point if you talk about it or something, you talk about something that's happening, you get canceled and stuff like that.
Okay, but that kind of goes back to what I was saying before. I'm not saying I got the right answer all the time, right? But what I'm saying is that it goes back to it's somebody else's problem. And when I say that, it's if you look at our generation, we learned how to work. We learned about value, we learned about money, and we learned how to be tough. Let's be honest, okay? And now with our kids, it's like, because we have a little bit more scratch than our parents did, right? It's like, everybody has their own story here. Obviously, I came from immigrant family, and for us, it was very hard to buy things. And I'm not trying to say, that we always got to think about, the negativity, right? Now that I have a little bit more scratch or a little bit more success than my parents did, I end up doing things more for my kids.
Right.
But here's the thing. I still teach my kids, or I try to, at least, that where did daddy get this money from? How he got this money from? And why is it important how I spend it and why I spend it and the value behind it. We don't do I hate saying this, but I see some of my friends, it's like they'll just throw money at their kids and they're buying things for them is because they never got that when they were a kid.
Right.
So they're almost kind of living their life through their kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of it, it's like, once again, we're working 24-hour days, 7 days a week. And if you think about it, it's hard to be around our kids all the time. And we try to be. And we're missing out moments, and those moments are, teaching the values, being around them, toughening them up, teaching them how it is to be, a responsible human being. Because we're constantly busy, because we're tired when we get home, or we're bringing extra work, when we get home. So when you hear work-life imbalance, at the corporation that you work at, you start laughing because that's false. That doesn't happen at all. And so it goes back to what you also said too, Calvin, education. It's so important to teach our kids, regardless whatever, the value of money, finances, how to be a good person, how to be a good neighbor, how to do things around the house. My son's like almost 12 years old. When I was 12 years old, I was already cutting the grass, and cleaning the house, painting, and all that stuff. My son doesn't know how to do that yet, but I've been trying to teach him how to do that. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's those little tiny things that we are not doing, and that we should be doing. And I do blame. And again, remember what I said: accountability and responsibility.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm at fault. I admit that. But at least I'm trying to do something about it. I'm not saying I'm perfect, or everybody's perfect, or everybody has a perfect situation. But the thing is, we've got to at least give that effort to teach our kids. Because why do we compare parents? For status? For looks?
Hey, the way it's going.
Or the excuse to buy Transformers for ourselves?
Yeah. It just those things because, it just sometimes you got to take a step back and say, how you was raised, you can be teaching your son the same. Well, for me, my situation is a little rough. And I've been fighting for custody for a good minute now.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that because there's a lot of things I hear that's in effect. And some of the things is that you don't have a trade. And what I mean by trades is like fix a car, fix something on your house, or fix something that you like to do, like electronics or something like that. You're bored, you can go outside and just be a kid or just be a teenager, Yeah, it's going to be some trouble behind it, but it teaches you a lesson because fathers teach their sons what's right and what's wrong. And today's society, they don't want you to teach your son both things. They want to teach your son everything is going to be good and dandy until when you hit the real world, it's not peaches and cream.
Correct. I agree 1,000%. And that goes back to the Energon Cubes.
Yep.
Think about it. I remember, Mike, you remember this. They had home ec, they had shop, they had mechanics, they had civic. Back in the days when we were going to school. Today, they don't even do that.
No, they took all of those. They took all of that out.
Yeah. They don't even do freaking, what's it called, timetables to memorize that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so but again, we pay a lot of taxes, so the schools, it's their responsibility to teach our kids. Yeah,
but you can take the time out for yourself to do that with your son, and that's the reason why I'm trying to get custody, because I could teach my son a lot of things, and he's 15, so in 6 more years, he go out and hit the real world, and I'll be 46.
Like this, time goes like this, Calvin.
And before you know it, I don't know what this is. I don't know how to do this. I've been seeing a couple dudes stay in the car on the passenger side where the lady gets on the driver's side and pump gas. And I said to myself, I said, look here, a leader one, you need to kick his butt.
Evening, gents.
Hey, bro.
What's going on?
I just got back from the convention.
Uh-oh.
Nice.
It's our local anime convention.
You got any updates, any news, anything to show that you may have bought?
This week, no, not so much. We were getting ready for this con, so kind of backslid a little bit.
I feel like Bill's out of loop, eh? Just constantly walking. I love it.
Man, I like I said, we're men, but we're more than that. We're just like Transformers, basically. We're teaching our kids for the future, And at the same time, we got to learn how to reformat and become something better. And once your kids see that you are a better person, it will bring out a lot of things. Because right now, discipline is one of the things that's left out. It's left out big time.
Depends what kind of discipline you're talking about. The illegal or legal way.
Oh,
All discipline is legal.
Sorry.
That's a rabbit hole.
All discipline is legal. It's where does discipline become more than discipline?
That is correct. There is that line.
Well, it goes back to to what we were saying earlier. Like, where is that line? Where is that line that you draw? Where do you say that's enough, right? See, that's a nice background that Bill has.
Oh, that's my house. I'm on the back porch.
I tell you what, I'm raising some baby shark cons. Anybody want one? They're $50 a piece.
What?
Some baby shark cons, yes. So let you guys know.
I want to see one. Show me.
No, I can't show it to you yet because it'll look at you and probably just want to run to you and bite you. Just let you know. That's very vicious. No, just kidding. That'd be some fucked up shit though.
That's all right, man. We're allowed to have fucked up shit, right? That's what life is all about, man. You know what? Here. See, this is the cool thing about this show, right? We talk about a lot of serious stuff, and we also talk about life and Transformers, obviously, but at the same time too, we're allowed to laugh.
Mm-hmm.
We're allowed to have a good time as well.
Well, next year I will be doing a panel on high-end collecting at our local con, the one that we just got back from.
Nice.
You're gonna videotape that, right?
It'll be recorded, yeah.
Okay, and then we're gonna have to put it on our show here. Bill,
it'd be cool if all of us go down to when it's happening.
There you go, Bill on the panel.
Yeah, it's OMG Con.
OMG.
It's in Owensboro, Kentucky.
I want to go, Mike. Seriously, sorry. I keep on calling you. Call Spin Mike. I should be calling you Spin. Sorry. We got to go down. Honestly, we really got to get down there one day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just waiting for the borders to open up properly, where we don't get any hassles coming back and forth through the borders, right?
Damn.
Yeah, I just found out that we have to have a passport to go to Canada now.
We do or we don't?
Yeah,
It's been like that for a long time.
You didn't back in the 90s.
You're right. Back in the 90s.
Day, yeah, you didn't.
Yeah, you just had a driver license.
Now that's a 3-hour discussion in itself when we start talking about passports and the borders. It's a disaster.
Damn.
And again, it's finger pointing because if you're flying, the airport's blaming the third-party company. The third-party company is blaming the passengers. But if you're driving, you may be it may not be as the rules are kind of bendable if you drive across the border somewhat, but it's a disaster.
Well, they changed that law. Sorry, Bill. They changed that law from driver's license in order to have a passport after 9/11.
I was saying,
you know what the joke is?
Me and my best friend drove up because he'd never seen Niagara Falls, and so for his birthday, we just loaded up in the car. In February, we drove to fucking Canada up through New York. Yeah, across Buffalo.
February.
Hey, hold on, wait a minute. New York is actually colder than Toronto, just to let you know, okay?
Right. But in 88, in 94, we took an 88 Escort GT with 4 bald tires in the winter.
Oh, that's funny.
Niagara Falls. And of course, because it's the off season, there's nothing open. We couldn't even get a hotel. So we crossed the border, And it took, 15, 20 minutes to cross the border. Went and saw Niagara Falls, took some pictures and shit. Couldn't find a hotel, so we're like, fuck it, we're driving back. And then when we got back to cross over back into the United States, the same guy that checked us in 4 hours ago had moved booths. And he was like, didn't you all just come in? And we were like, yeah, everything's closed. And he's like, we need you to pull over there.
Wow.
And they stripped my car. They thought we were picking something up. Yeah, they took the speakers out of the holes.
Wow.
They stripped my car thinking we were on a drug run.
Yeah, because Niagara Falls during that time, there was a lot of shady stuff happening.
But the joke when D and I used to do shows, there was one show after 9/11 where when we got to the border, we're thinking, well, they're talking about like all this extra security and everything. I think that was the easiest time we've crossed the border ever in our life. It was basically like, okay, you guys are going here, everything checks out, have a nice day. And I'm like, so where's the extra security? Where's like all the hassle and this and that? Whereas like any other time, it was always like these constant hassles, even before 9/11. After when it's supposed to be extra security, not an issue.
That's weird.
It was extremely weird.
Yeah, because I remember I went down to go see my sister. And so where my sister lives, she lives like in she lives near Windsor, right? And so what I end up doing sometimes is that when I go see her, I'll start by Sarnia, which is close to Michigan State, like that part to cross over, because there's a lot of what's called the outlets in that area, the prime outlets, and so I'll hop over to the border, buy some stuff, and I'll hop back. And so I did that for one Christmas. Before Christmas, I went down to go see my sister, and I went to go do some Christmas shopping. And it was funny because when I came back that same day, I almost did what Bill said. Like I went over there, there was nothing there to buy. It was a lot of stuff was closed because it was a Sunday too, right? I go, and then they actually let me go through. I didn't. They didn't stop me. They didn't when I say stop me, they didn't stop my car and search or whatever. They're like, okay, here, go ahead, buy, right? But normally, I find it easier to cross the border at nighttime versus during the day.
Damn.
And it also depends which border. Although I haven't traveled between those two borders in some time, but Buffalo border's a lot harder, where the Detroit border was like Detroit border, like the agents that work there are a lot friendlier and just everything's easygoing. Buffalo border will hassle you, and the Detroit border patrol guys make fun of the Buffalo patrol. It's the funniest because we'll tell them it's like we don't deal we would tell them like we told the Detroit guys it's like, well, this is what we have to deal with Buffalo, and the Detroit guys are like, yeah, the Buffalo guys are just we don't like them. I'm like, ooh, I thought they all work for the same company.
That's what it is. It's just the way they think they're just too cocky over there, and that's what you experience. But Detroit is pretty much like they're laid back.
Yeah. Well, you got to remember the Buffalo border. It's really heavy, right? The peace border. There's tons of people, going back and forth. But there's another border in Buffalo that you can cross that is much easier. And
there's two of them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You go to the smaller one. So how the Peace Bridge is right, let's just say right here.
Yeah.
And if you had if you want to get onto that road, I think it's Linda Lane or whatever it's called, and you head up going this way, you make a left and you keep on going up and around over here, there's another border to get to Buffalo, and that's actually a smaller border. Not as many cars going back and forth. It's like a hidden gem. Not a lot of people know about this border.
Oh, you have secrets.
It starts with an L. I can't remember what it's called, right? I'll look it up. I'll look it up next time, and I'll tell you.
Well, there's another one that's
Lewiston. Sorry, Lewiston. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, there's another border that's like that as well. Because if you're planning to drive across Canada, it's either you go around the lakes, and it will add about like an extra 4 or 5 hours of driving time, or you
That's
go
worth it.
under the lakes through the States and then back up into Canada. And the border to get, I believe it was from Chicago back into one of the other provinces.
Damn.
It almost seems like a small TV show type of border where it's like an outhouse and one guy that's working there, and there's like a sign for a moose crossing. Like you would never expect to see this border.
Those are the best borders.
Sorry?
Those are the best borders, like the small little town borders where you see the moose crossing sign or whatever. Like you just walk up, hey, how's everything? Good, good. All right. You want me to pick you up something? No, we're good. Okay, well, we'll see you later. All right, thanks, bye.
But isn't that all a part of the United States? This shit is fucking stupid. Seriously.
Okay, I'm gonna hold on. I'll be right back. Just give me a few minutes. I'm just gonna sign off and then I'll come right back. Okay.
Cool.
I was gonna say, while Mike signed off for a moment, and we have like about 30 minutes left, and we would jump on the topic of nice. Where do Autobots get their Energon Cubes from?
That guy right there, he just showed it. That guy right there. You see him right there?
He got a square opening. He can make an Energon.
See that?
That's it right there.
I forgot to him about.
So Soundwave makes them from his chest. Wheeljack makes them from his chest.
I don't know about that one. I just know that there's some secrets going on that we're not aware of, because how in the hell, if Wheeljack is so damn smart, his intelligence is equal to what? Is it Shockwave?
Possibly.
His intelligence? So if you really look at it, there's got to be something that's going on, because in certain cases, there's still an Energon Cubes from the Decepticons. and I'm just sitting here like, what the, like, it's just some of those things. I have to really sit back and think. So somebody is double dipping.
We talked about that last time, but I don't think that it would be Soundwave.
But I thought you were saying that it would have been Soundwave that was double dipping.
Well, Soundwave is the one that creates them, but I don't think that it was Soundwave that is actually doing the double dipping. I think it's probably going to be somebody like the Triple Changer.
Blitzwing.
No, Octane.
Octane, yes. Oh, Octane for sure. Octane for sure would be double dipping.
Played both sides against the middle, and I think he's a war profiteer.
Hell no.
I see it. I fully see it. I mean, the fact that he could steal Triptychon twice.
Right. I would not put it past him. Yeah, I'm like, man.
What about one of the early Decepticons? Who do you think would have also been had the same mindset as Octane?
I mean, if you go by the comics, Skywarp.
Mm-hmm.
Or not Skywarp, Thundercracker. Thundercracker was the one that was kind of anti the war.
Right.
But he's not. I don't think that he was as far as what I've read online in the comics and everything. He's not pro Decepticon. He's not pro Autobot. He is pro Thundercracker.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He is a Decepticon because he's a seeker.
Right.
That's where he has to fit in, which I think is bullshit.
Yeah.
So do you think that he could have just been an Autobot?
If he wanted to, I don't know why any of them that in their bios and everything, it talks about, that they didn't really support the Decepticon movement, but they had no choice. Well,
Right.
Jetfire showed them that you do have a choice. And, when that happened, I think that there should have been like a mass exodus from the Decepticons to the Autobot movement. If it's just as simple as saying, I'm no longer a Decepticon, the ones that are tired of being pushed under by Megatron and the inner three, Megatron, Shockwave, Soundwave, why didn't they just jump ship? Other than that's not the way Hasbro designed it to
be. Right.
I get so sick of that damn answer on my pages that who really killed Optimus Prime? Well, the writers did. Dickhead, shut the fuck up. We're anytime we try and get a serious thing going up, somebody got to pop up with the writers did. I can't believe you're arguing over a child's toy. Motherfucker, why don't you leave the fucking page? We ain't here to listen to your bullshit like that. We're up here trying to, have fun with our fucking passion. And you got to throw some bullshit in like the writers did it. Suck my dick. It's
like it's been around for 40 years. Like, we're allowed to create concepts, storylines, ideas. Like, we're not restricted to what was given to us.
Right.
Well, I mean, there is a thing called fan fiction now.
Yep.
Exactly.
Fan-driven fiction where we decide what the storyline was. This is our section of the multiverse.
Exactly.
Just like my thing with with not just the Decepticons, with all the Transformers. The reason why we have the same body styles, those are the races of Cybertron.
Yep.
Seekers are from this section of Cybertron. The Dotson boys, they're from this section of Cybertron. The semis, Optimus Prime, Ultra Magnus, they're from this section. Just because we just saw them, I mean, I can honestly say I've only ever seen 3 Japanese people in my life, other than on TV, because of where I live.
Right.
I know that race exists, but that's, it's a race that wasn't in the broad spectrum of the storyline. That's why we only have Optimus and Ultra Magnus from that race. They're from a rarer race or from a far away race. That's my version.
And I mean that makes sense, because I mean, you look at Optimus before, when he was Orion Pax and his friend I believe Diane or Dion. I mean, they were all trucks, like transport trucks. So who knows how many other versions of trucks existed, like including Cup. Like, he's just a smaller truck. And actually, Megatron's original army were part of his fleets were trucks. So what race?
Oh, since you said Megatron, I've got a topic that we need to bring in. Okay. And this is stretching. But when they crashed on Earth and Sky Spy and Teletran reformatted everybody to Earth vehicles. Everybody was reformatted to something similar to what they were on Cybertron. The Seekers all became jets.
Right.
Prime went from a cargo truck to a semi. Okay. That means that Megatron was still a handgun, just like Shockwave is.
Interesting.
So does that mean that Megatron and Shockwave were the first target masters? And if so, who are they beholden to?
Titan?
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Ooh.
But who holds the reins on Megatron and Shockwave? And what happened?
Unicron? You got to keep this in mind. There's more Titans out there besides Unicron. And actually, we looked it up.
Right. So what happened to them?
Where are they?
I don't want to get us into another discussion right now. I'm just saying we need to put a pin in that for another discussion and let everybody do their research and come in and debate that.
You know, I like that for next week.
Mm. Don't worry, I'll eat my Twinkie. Oh my goodness! It just gets
like
better,
that for
man.
next week.
It just gets better.
That's right. Okay, so Autobot Energon, what are your views? I'm saying somebody double dipped. So, did I lose everybody?
Oh no!
Oh, still here.
Okay, it got real quiet. I thought maybe my signal was glitching out again. So if there wasn't somebody double dipping, who on the Autobot side is the Energon Cube maker?
Mm-hmm. Well, the one thing I was going to say initially when we came up with the idea a few weeks ago, is maybe they weren't creating Energon cubes, because there was that one episode where they mentioned that they had recharge chambers, and they never spoke of these recharge chambers ever again. Which then is a question: what's powering these recharge chambers, and what's powering Teletran 1? Like, where are they drawing their power from? Which again
Natural resources.
Maybe ties in. Sorry?
Natural resources.
So then maybe that still ties in.
If you gotta look at the sun creates energy, wind creates energy, the ground, lava creates energy, heat energy.
Yeah,
they sit on top of volcano.
And there's also a river that runs behind the volcano.
Right.
So I'm gonna say Blaster. And the reason why I say he can create cubes, he's just like Soundwave.
Mm-hmm.
If you really look at it, but it's behind closed doors because nobody haven't seen him till season 2 and 3.
Right.
So if you really look at it, and then in the movie, I kind of touched base on some of it. So it's a lot of stuff that's out there. It's a lot. I'm just saying, there's a lot of stuff out there.
So Soundwave is a communications specialist. Blaster is also a communications specialist.
Mm-hmm.
Soundwave, if you go by the cartoon, his original Cybertronian form, he was like a light post or some sort of a tower by the road.
Mm-hmm.
So, being a communicator, maybe he was an antenna. Maybe he was an antenna. That's why he's a communications officer.
Right.
Blaster is also a communications officer. So let's assume that he is also another such tower of some sort.
Right.
What if on Cybertron they weren't actually towers, they were just positioned by the road for pickup, and their actual thing was Energon supply.
Nice.
You pulled up to them like a dispensary.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm gonna buy a 6-pack Energon.
Yep. So that would make.
But what would be the currency though?
Well, you're just buying the cube. You're not buying Energon, so you're going to pay a little bit of Energon.
Oh, gotcha.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You're buying an empty cube. Hey, I'm just supplying the box. You got to put your own energy in it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now, maybe for a favor, I got these over here that's got some in them. Is it shady? Is it black market? Is it wide open? I don't know. I wasn't there.
You know what? That presents a lot of black market possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who else is selling and selling and scalping, like double selling? Like there's a lot of possibilities there. Or even in a sense, whoever's picking up, they're then charging double or triple to whoever they're dropping it off to.
Right. That is wild. You know, it does make you think, though. It really does. And I think, you know, like you just said, somebody is probably selling something on the side you don't know anything about, and the person is just not recognizable, you know?
So, Mike, what do you
I'm
think?
Yeah. What do I think? What Kevin says that I didn't hear? Good things.
I was throwing out my view of the where Autobot Energon Cubes come from. So my reasoning is, if on Cybertron if we saw Soundwave as like a light pole. Okay, that was his form. He was just kind of standing up there like that, and then so he's a communication specialist, so he's a light pole or possibly an antenna is what I was saying, because he's communication.
Correct.
That means that Blaster would also be something similar on site. What if, because we're just assuming that they were light poles. It's not like they actually gave out light. They were just standing by the side of the road. What if their actual thing, their actual performance job on Cybertron was they were dispensaries? That's why they have their own guys. They can eject people who can load the other vehicles. You know, they have their own assembly workers stored inside of them.
That's a really good theory. Because if you think about it, even in Transformer in the Bay universe, you know, Soundwave was a satellite. So, that's hard for me to argue against.
Yes.
When I say like argue against, saying no, Bill, you're wrong. You know, no, like that's a really good theory, because let's face it, in the cartoons, all we saw is Soundwave always coming up, where, you know, regardless wherever they found their natural resources, you know, and he's there creating the cube. And he puts the cube down, and then they come and pump in the the energon into that cube. And then what Bill's saying is that inside his chest, with his little workers, are creating those cubes, right? So he's like an assembly factory traveling unit. Is Bill frozen?
Oh boy.
Hello?
A little bit.
It just gets better, doesn't it?
So okay, so what's the main question again?
All right, so the main question is, where do Autobots get their Energon Cubes from?
Okay, well, we know. Yeah,
we know the Decepticons.
Made Soundwave.
Right. So who made them for the Autobots?
You know what? I don't think the Autobots made their own. I think they went to go steal it from the Decepticons.
Everyone keeps saying that.
You're a bunch of teeth, man.
that's been the ongoing consensus that the Autobots are stealing them from the Decepticons, or the Decepticons, like a few are secretly selling them to the Autobots.
Yeah.
Yep. For that free price of $9.99.
Oh no, Bill.
We're having a bill. What happened?
Hey, he says, "You got to be kidding me! My signal bottomed out again."
Soundwave got him.
Yep.
Yeah, Soundwave was like, "Nope, you guys are calling out too much of the truth. We're gonna start, attacking everybody's signals."
You jamming everybody.
Yep.
It's like Spaceballs. Remember that movie Spaceballs?
Yep.
I haven't watched that. I haven't watched that in forever.
You know how they're jamming the signal when they threw like a big bottle jam.
It's an auto jam. Hell no.
What happened to Bill? That's what happened to Bill. So we threw a big bottle of jam to his signal. And he's like, "Oh man, it's raspberry. Tastes like raspberry."
I'm thinking of like one of those other movies. What's the one with Nielsen, where it's like basically is this conversation cloaked, and it's like everybody in the room is like underneath sheets, and we're like, yes, we're all cloaked.
Oh, the thing was like that. Get smart. The clone of silence.
Yep.
What'd you say? I don't know. What'd you say? I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
Soundwave laser beak eject Operation Silent the Source.
I thought he was saying Ravage. Dude. Nice kitty cat.
One day I have to clip that one clip where Ravage jumps in on Chip Chase and then like takes him back outside in the while he's in the wheelchair, but basically Chip goes through the window first. Not a scratch on him.
You know what we gotta do one day? We gotta go through a whole bunch of episodes and find bloopers like that.
Oh, there's a ton of them, and he's like, we make fun of season 3. Season 1 and 2 has a ton of them.
Yep.
Right, that'd be so hilarious, man. I'd go into tears.
You know what's funny? Somebody had posted a clip on TikTok. You remember that scene the cartoon with sea spray in that one chick?
Mm-hmm.
And the chick got some stuff. She was attracted to him or something. He said, "Get off of me."
Wow.
Somebody posted as a Kevin Samuels moment.
Wow.
I was like, I should have saved that and fucking shared the shit out of it. It was funny. He was like, "Get off of me," and pimp slapped her. She's like, "Oh."
That should be a Samuel L. Jackson moment there.
Oh man,
his voice in there.
But that I ain't gonna lie, that episode did turn out pretty good though. It did.
Yeah. A lot of good. But going back to the Energon, man, for Autobots. Man, you know what? Here's a funny thing. I literally went online and tried to find out something. So I look somewhat prepared or smart when I come onto the show.
Right.
And I couldn't find anything. Honestly, I couldn't find, because if you look at all the other Prime, or if you look at even the Netflix series, right?
Oh, you know what?
They were just searching for the Energon, and they were on the floor.
I take that back.
Right?
Yes, it was. And Transformers Prime. You remember Ratchet came up with the Energon, the steroid stuff? Remember the episode?
Yeah.
Ratchet made Energon, bro.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, but he did it in a meth lab.
So if you
Breaking Bad
really,
starring Ratchet.
and what's so bad about it, it's just unsuspectedly that it could have been Ratchet, and it just never showed it.
Yeah, but you know what? But it was all crystals. If you really think about it, right? It was
Yep.
like laying there, like, okay, let's go grab this crystal, and that was the energon. There was no
But he
energon.
turned into a steroid though, like a liquid or something though.
Yeah, got to
Wow,
spit
this is
it out. You got a big
fully Breaking Bad.
spoon and lit it on fire on the bottom of the spoon, and he cooked it up like that, right? But at the end of the day,
Holy moly!
but there was no energon cubes,
Right.
Not like
Crystals.
That's why he made it in a meth lab. They're all crystals. If you think about it, like even in what's called in the Netflix series, when they hired Bumblebee to go find
Oh,
what's
you run.
called-
Oh,
what's wrong?
no, I was just making sure. No, that bunny, because at 2:00 in the morning, I have a bunny that will sit right there on the edge. She'll look at me because I know she got babies over there somewhere.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't mess with her, but there's a guy just got a dog, and the dog kind of scared her or something. So she looked at me and darted underneath the car because she know that I'm always around.
So you know why she looked at you?
Yeah, because I protect what's going on around here because that's how it works.
See, that's why she looked at you.
Yep.
I'm gonna distract this dog while you take care of my little bunnies.
Yep, and I got my baby shark that comes on standby.
See?
Yes, they do maul dogs. Yes, they do.
Here we go. So Bill from Facebook is saying every time the Autobot made Energon, it was a drug.
Oh, yeah.
And he also says, things are running slow. He also says in the Netflix series, Sound Blaster was the middleman.
Well, Sound Blaster and Bumblebee, because you got to remember, Bumblebee knew where all the stash was.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
That was a funny scene though. He was like, "Don't ever call him Soundwave. He gets very offensive."
Yes.
But you know what? I would have liked. You see, I wish Netflix went back and made like a series on those guys.
Oh, that was so good.
Right.
So good.
You know, man. I know I'm gonna get off topic here, right? But it's like every single time when they bring out like these characters, like these new characters, whatever Transformer series is, there's like that smaller group of Transformers. You're like, man, they look pretty cool. And then you wish they did like a spin-off series about them, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see that.
Man, it's just amazed that some of the guys like I didn't know Sound Blaster, he made cubes too, like the Energon things. And I said, whoa. So that rings another question then, that if these guys are doing it that damn good, what's up with the Autobots? Like I just don't understand. I don't get it.
Well, Bill kind of answer your question here. Bill basically said on Facebook, as Sound Blaster was a clone of Soundwave, it's reasonable to believe that he can make the cubes as well. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So what the Autobots should have did, they should have made a clone of Sound Blaster.
Twin cast.
Mm-hmm.
No, because remember, Blaster never made cubes.
Mm,
Or we shouldn't say never. We never seen Blaster make any cubes.
Right.
We don't know.
We don't know. But so far, what we do know, we never saw him make any cubes.
Mm-hmm.
So if I was the Autobot, instead of stealing Energon from the Decepticon, I'd rather grab some kind of, I don't know, DNA or something like that, or whatever they call their DNA, and make a clone or whatever of Soundwave or Sound Blaster.
Mm-hmm.
So they can make their own Energon cubes. instead of stealing it from the Decepticons.
Man, that's a good one though. If you really look at it.
Did. And then after that, go back to Blaster and say, "Hey, what are you good for?"
He's fired.
We don't need you anymore. You don't make anything. What is wrong with you?
Wow.
Listen, we got a 3-for-1 here. We got a guy that can make a cube, that guy can communicate, and plus he can carry cassettes.
Mm.
In today's economy, 3-for-1 is not bad versus 2-for-1.
You damn Skippy.
Right? But did you guys find anything online about Autobots making Energon Cubes? Like, I feel really silly right now because I try to look everywhere and I couldn't find nothing.
Well, I didn't look. I just figured, if it existed, someone would point it out. But apparently, like, we've just invented this topic.
Dang. You know what's crazy? Like, I have not seen any other groups such as this one that actually talk about stuff like this. And like Facebook got a whole bunch of like groups and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I post stuff with them, and they're like it'll be a yay or nay. They like it or something, but I just never seen any other live group that talks about Transformers besides this show, and that's it.
Well, thank you for saying that, Calvin, because that's what the show is all about. We want to have other people join the show because we got to spin our communication specialists over there that can send up the links for people to, to jump on. Hey, how think about it. How did you become part of the show?
Mm.
Oh, don't worry, it's coming.
No, but I'm just saying, how did Bill become part of the show?
I think he kind of stumbled upon it as YouTube or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, from Facebook, because I mean, we all have the ideas outside of what's written for Transformers, and it's like, why not run with it?
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what we want this show to be all about. We just wanted people just to jump on, say their piece, and have a good time. And then if they want to stay on. If they want to talk about further thing about 30 seconds, 30 minutes, something like, for example, last week you had somebody that jumped on the show. Am I correct?
Oscar. Yep. Yeah.
Right. Perfect. Mm-hmm. I thought that was great. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to be there, and I know Dee wasn't able to be there for a couple of episodes as well too. But regardless, having people jumping on, that's the whole point. And that's where we could discuss about the Autobots making Energon Cubes, because again, I'm stumped. And if anybody out there, please leave a comment. That will help us, help you, help everybody, help YouTube, I guess. The algorithm, it's the rhythm of the night. I don't know. You know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, Bill from Facebook says you heard it. You heard it here first on Children of Primus, referring to the Autobot Energon Cubes.
See?
Yep.
We want to know. Shuri Spines wants to know. The world wants to know. How did Autobots make Energon Cubes?
You know what? That's we can keep this topic going in all the different groups on YouTube and everything. And Bill suggested, which I know he's suggested many times before, so we're gonna make this a show for next week.
Oh no, part two. It's gonna be a part 2, part 3.
Well, we could make part 3. Yeah, we could do part 3 next week on the Autobot Energon Cubes, and then tie in with the new topic.
Oh, don't worry.
Of the Transformer races. What were the different races of Transformers?
Yeah, I'm sending. I'm gonna have to get a request from Skyquake. He's supposed to come on the show when you do episode 3.
Well, if you're gonna bring Skyquake, I got Dreadwood.
All right, cool.
I literally do. He's somewhere around here. Well, somewhere in my bin here. You want to know something? Dee was was busting my what about getting a green screen, right?
Mhm.
And I went to Walmart and I picked up some of these, those green construction paper, Bristol boards, whatever you call it, right?
Mhm.
And I put it up. Look here. So you guys believe me? You see, it's right there, right? Okay.
Oh, okay.
So, all right. So you want to see again, Mike? Okay. So we got visual proof here. And so I put it up behind me, and I went to go use it, and it literally made my camera or my motions really slow.
Oh,
Yeah, there's a few settings you have to fine tune because once you start using a green screen, it puts it uses more power on the computer.
wow.
But there's a few ways to adjust it so it's not it doesn't drain the computer as much.
Okay, well, you're gonna have to show me how to do that because I had a really cool back screen.
Okay.
And watch. I'll give you guys a little teaser here. Oh, see, it's taking forever, right?
Oh, nice.
Does it show it?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I look weird.
Yeah, you have to go through the fine-tuned settings.
So, yeah, so I want to use that, and the green screen, it's supposed to help make it better and everything, right? So I did it with a green screen, and it was still the same. Like I was not moving at all, very slow.
Wow.
Right? And I don't like that. Sucked.
We'll connect during the week and and go through the technical details.
Oh,
you know
boy.
what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna draw something, and I'm just gonna stick it in the back here.
A little happy face and a sun.
So
what?
yeah,
I'm gonna do that right now.
I was going to see if Bill is still watching because I wanted to show this off to him, and I don't know. It looked like it's an awesome figure, but I don't know.
What would happen?
That right there.
Oh, that's it. That is when you were speaking of.
Yeah.
Is that original?
No, it's a knockoff.
Who cares, man? I want. Where'd you get that?
I got it from a toy store by my house. Well, it was like 30 minutes away, but the dude kind of discouraged me from getting it. And I was like, damn, I need to go back and get it. So I was told from a couple people, well, you need to go back and get it. And it was the only one that they had.
And how much did you pay for that?
$99.
A picker card?
Yep, $99.
Oh my goodness, that probably would have cost like $9,000 here.
Yep.
And then I got this guy.
Oh yes, Darkwing.
Yeah.
Dark Wind.
That's a nice figure. Which one's that? United Warrior?
This is the
Universe.
The Universe. This is that line I want to keep collecting.
Yeah,
I want
nice.
I want to keep because that series. It's just like the Legacy collection. That's all they're doing. It's the same thing all over again.
No, I like the. There's my backdrop. There you go. Oh wait, you can't see it. Sorry, guys. Is that better? No, my head's in the way. It's supposed to be out. It's supposed to be out. No. Hold on. Is that better?
Oh wow, that is Optimus Prime.
So now D can't see anything now. Here,
so yeah, I was gonna tell you, hey, Span, they're actually coming out with a Voyager class Skyquake in the Legacy line. He is coming.
Wow. Okay.
Touring is coming.
See, my Starscream, like I showed this before, right?
Yeah.
My Starscream is from that same line that you have. That's actually a really good line, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know this part got ripped here, right? But that's why that's the same line as the one I was talking about, getting Sky Warp and Ultra Magnus that comes in the same package.
Yep.
That's like that. Oh man, it's Transformer Universe, I believe it's called, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that line. They have some really good figures in there. I don't know, man. I think figures from like 2010, 2009, 2008. There's some really good figures back in those days.
Oh, dude, and the best part? They come up with an Armada Megatron that's going to be a leader class, and the Legacy line.
Well, how's he gonna look like? Is he gonna look like the tank?
The one from the cartoon.
Which one?
Armada. You remember Armada? The one he was like a tank, like a bug or something, like the little clinch thing on his head.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, really? Wow.
So yeah, that Legacy line 3 and 4 is going to be ridiculous. But I won't touring, which for sure. That figure is going to be the kicker, because we never got a turn figure, never.
No. That line itself, the Armada line, was weird, because I saw some stuff and I was like, the actual figure didn't look like the cartoon.
Yep.
And then apparently, like, when you're trying to put Ultra Magnus and Optimus Prime together, like, they form
combine.
together. Yeah, they combine. Thank you. They combine. I heard there was like a lot of trouble with the figure itself, like working.
I think I prefer it. I would like to have that, and him and Jetfire. I would like to have those four figures actually combined to make two Optimus Primes, but still, it won't hurt to have that in a Legacy line, because we never got, when we did get it, it was heavily scalped, and that's why I said that Hasbro should have did that in the beginning.
Well, the funny thing is, I was trying to get that Jetfire, Universe one.
Yeah.
And it was so hard to find, and I think that was a pretty cool figure. I don't know if what's it called? It's been distracting me here. He's distracted me here with our classified. Well, hey, did you know Children of Primus has a classified site called Children of Primus? World's biggest Transformer classified site.
See, I didn't know all that. Those are called hidden features.
Right. And we have a whole bunch of sections and categories in there that you can break it down. If you got anything that you want to post and you want to sell, I don't know what else to say, but it's free. Free is good right now in today's economy. We also have our own Fear or Courage, Anthony posting his Transformers that he's going to be selling at TFCON, which is going to be coming up very shortly, in a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Which I guess we're going to be talking about that, I guess, the next show.
Yes.
A little preview.
Because I'm going to have to sign off in the next, within the next 5 minutes. We got a whole bunch of things to do tonight and for in the morning. But yes, Fear or Courage, he listed some of this is a preview of some of the Transformers that he's going to be selling at the upcoming TFCON Toronto that we will be at July 8th, 9th, and 10th.
And we're going to be there live and direct.
So we're going to be there live. And we're also going to be doing a live stream on the Saturday, which would be the July 9th. We'll talk to any of the vendors, guests, and and a few other plans that next week's show we'll get into more details with.
and our Professor D, we're hoping that he's able to come and join us during that weekend. So it'll be a little reunion. We're crossing fingers that all works out. A little Dope Poet Society reunion.
Oh, he's been busy, huh?
Yep. We're also gonna post. We're also gonna share this post in all the different groups and forums. So, anyone looking for any characters that Fear or Courage may have, they can contact him directly to either hold them or to drop by at the show and then buy them.
And check this out, our American friends and family neighbor. You can use it too. It's not just only for Canada.
Yay.
Now, I'll prove it to you. Spin. Can you go back to our homepage?
As long as they come packaged, nothing's taken out the box, I am gold. You have sold me.
Mm-hmm.
If you scroll to the bottom on our homepage.
Oh. Let me go back to the main homepage.
Yes. Fear of Courage needs to put a picture there.
Yes, he does.
I want our Americans, friends, and family, neighbor, just to know that we are American friendly as well. Little beautiful categories that you can post in there, especially in your Mighty Morphin GoBots.
Yeah.
Keep on going down. Keep on going down.
And right there.
What? Is that says Canada and the United States?
Oh boy!
We see and a Canadian flag and an American flag.
And I see Optimus Prime with a Megatron cannon. Hell yeah, I take that any day.
So to our American friends and to our Canadian friends, obviously, use it. It's free. I don't know how many times I gotta tell you guys. I'm not saying forget about it. I'm telling you to remember about it. Okay, it's free. All right, use it. You can post anything, statues. You can post live action movie. You can post masterpiece. You can post third party, generations, collectibles. Again, I mentioned look at that beautiful triptychon there that I want to get.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, GoBots, comic book, video games, DVD, trading cards, whatever you want to do. Then we also have our Decepticons, our Autobots, or both. Whatever category you want to post. Post it. Because again, it's what? Free to use.
It's free to use.
Because we're that's how us Canadians we roll, man. Free healthcare. So we got free Transformer Classified.
That's right.
For you guys to use for free.
So I'm gonna send a shout out to Calvin for jumping in once again, and shout out to Bill who was in earlier. Shout out to Oscar who sent a comment earlier, and to Solhana who also sent a comment earlier. So shout out to everyone that was watching our stream for tonight.
I know it's a short one, but it's sometimes short is also sweet. Anytime anybody wants to jump in, and not just only leave a comment, but if you ever want to jump in and talk to us and talk about a topic that you want to specifically talk about, please do so. Because even though we have a topic today, listen, we talk about everything and anything.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's what this show is all about. It's just to have a good time and talk. What? Transformers that we all love. So, yes. Spin, Calvin, always a pleasure to talk to you guys. Thank you so much.
Oh, yes.
Anything you want to plug, Calvin, before we take off?
Oh, yes, indeed.
Besides your baby Sharkticons
Oh, yeah. I'm going to bring those up right now. So those that
are you gonna do a baby Sharkticon song too?
Yes, indeed.
Are you gonna do baby Sharkticon, con, baby?
Yeah, and they do bite.
And they're gonna do bite. Okay.
Yeah, they look friendly at first with their big bubbly eyes, and you put your hand up there, they'll know if you're a friend or foe.
And like what Bill said, you hit her.
You know what?
You heard it here first. I told it to Primus.
All right, what I'm going to do next week, I'm gonna unbox a shark to cut and pet it and everything. Show that it does bite and it does growl.
Nice.
Okay.
So
Stay
yeah,
tuned, people.
so everybody subscribe, keep watching the show. If you don't, I will sick one of them on you, and I do have your IP address, and I will send a drone to your house and drop one off. That's how it works.
We're just saying.
Just saying.
We're just saying.
I'm just saying. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Possibility. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, talk about us, talk to us, join us. There you go. Spin, you got anything else to say? Or anything to plug? That's it?
Childrenofprimus.com, TFCON Toronto in a couple weeks, and join us in the different groups. That's it.
Cool. All right, let's sign off. Peace.
All right. Peace.